This is Greg Corombos of Radio America reporting for WorldNet Daily. My guest at this time is Texas Congressman Ron Paul, a Republican representing the Lone Star State's 14th Congressional District. He's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and he was a 2008 presidential candidate. We want to get his thoughts today as a member of that critical House Foreign Affairs Committee on the latest developments and unrest inside Iran. And Congressman, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Information is difficult to get out of Iran at this point. Really, the social networks are the best avenue since the Iranian government has put a clamp, especially on foreign media, limited reports, limited camera work, and so forth. What do you make of the Iranian government's response to these pro-democracy demonstrators?
Well, it's hard to figure it out. Like you say, it's hard to get the really good information and exactly know what's going on. I guess any government that has unrest in their country and there's upheaval, governments react in the traditional manner, no matter where you are. But I think that, generally speaking, most people are pretty excited about the fact that maybe at the grassroots level, the Iranian people are getting a little bit tired of what they've been putting up with. So hopefully that'll work out for the better.
Congressman, you made it very clear during the campaign that you believe the U.S. Involves itself too much in certain parts of the world, and there's a big debate, as you know, going on right now about whether it's proper for the U.S. to actively encourage and publicly support the demonstrators, or whether it's better to try and remain as neutral as possible and just hope that they win so we don't give fuel to the fire for those in command in Iran. What do you see as the best approach for our administration?
Yeah, I want us to not get involved, and this is one place where I agree with our president. When the president says he doesn't want to get involved because it would look like we have picked sides, and even if we favor one side, it might do them more harm than good. So I think that is wise. And but the bigger question is whether or not we really are involved. So, but for the time being, for what we know, I would support the president in taking a more hands-off position, even though he now has had to change his tone a little bit because of what Congress is doing. We had this little vote the other day where I was the only one that actually took this position of supporting the president, saying that we shouldn't get too aggressive in supporting one side or the other, because, quite frankly, I don't think anybody outside of Iran, even the people in Iran, know exactly, what's going on and what the motivations are, and whether Mousavi is actually, going to have the reforms that we want. So I think it's just very risky for us to get involved.
Congressman, the parallel may not be exact, of course, but some would say that it's important for those yearning for freedom to have the vocal support of the United States. They point to the 1980s when the Iron Curtain started to crumble, President Reagan's strong verbal support for the Solidarity movement in Poland, for example, as well as other folks yearning for freedom in Eastern Europe, and they say that was a critical factor in actually making that a reality. Do you sense that we could play that same role today as those who voted in favor of the resolution last week suggested?
No, I don't think that was as relevant as some people think, because when there was the revolt in Hungary and Czechoslovakia and we didn't respond, nothing much happened as far as the revolution goes, which means the people have to be ready. And when the people are ready, lip service isn't going to make the difference. So I just don't think that us saying anything right now is going to make a difference. I think us saying things right now in support of the revolutionaries, I believe that the president is right on this. This may well make things much worse. So this doesn't mean that people can't have an opinion and say tyranny should always be abolished and we always root for the underdogs and root for individual liberty. But sorting this all out and doing it in a political way and with our country at stake, I think it's risky business.
Is there another avenue, perhaps less publicly, that we can support this, or is it just a matter of allowing this to take root naturally and to grow naturally?
We should take a hands-off position officially. But I think if this is a really just cause and the Iranian Americans who know the most about it. If they think this is really a worthy cause, I would never put any restrictions in their place. I mean, I'd rather see them go on off and send their money and send their kids, and they go over there and help out, rather than agitating in Washington to use taxpayers' money or use our troops to go and get involved. So I wouldn't have any restrictions on people who think that they know and feel strongly about the benefits of being over there, so they could go over there and give moral support. I mean, it's been done in other times, so I would certainly allow that to happen.
It's been already reported that the Iranian government has accused, and in fact, we just saw it in the press last week, accused the U.S. of intolerable meddling in the whole post-election mess over there. And as you point out, President Obama has been especially careful with his words. So if the Iranian government's going to use us as the straw man anyway, does that give us more latitude, or does it mean that we have to be even more careful?
I think we have to be more careful about what we ought to be doing. If I had anything to say about it, I would be very explicit that we don't have our CIA operating in there.